What happens when the most powerful sports league on the planet decides to lay down the law? Not with suspensions, not with warnings, but with brutal, sometimes outrageous fines. From a single crumpled dollar bill handed to a referee to players losing millions over moments of madness, these aren't just penalties. They're price tags on chaos. One wrong move, one flash of showmanship, and the NFL can hammer down with fines so steep they make Wall Street blush. This isn't just about numbers, it's about power, pride, and the staggering cost of stepping out of line. And as this video will show, whether it's a silly sock infraction or faking injuries to sabotage legends like Tom Brady, the financial fallout can be downright absurd. From a $1, 0 cents joke gone wrong to a jaw-dropping $60 million, 0 cents scandal, this is the true cost of breaking the rules in the NFL. Let's start at the very bottom, the cheapest fine in NFL history. Chad Johnson, known for his flashy style and even flashier personality, once thought it would be funny to try and tip a referee during a game. With a wink and a grin, he pulled out a single dollar bill and offered it as if he were bribing the official. The crowd laughed, the announcers chuckled, but the NFL, that single dollar joke, it violated one of the league's most sacred principles, maintaining the integrity of the game. Even the hint of bribery, no matter how comedic, couldn't go unpunished. Chad was fined for the stunt, and while the fine was minimal, the message was loud and clear. In the NFL, the rules are no joke. But if Chad's fine was a slap on the wrist, the next one was a punch to the wallet. Minnesota Vikings receiver Jordan Addison had a shiny Lamborghini and a need for speed, but when he decided to push it to 140 emph in a 55 emph zone, his joyride turned into a legal nightmare. Caught red-handed by police, Addison's reckless driving resulted in a hefty ticket and more than $600, 0 cents, in fine. It wasn't just about breaking traffic laws. NFL players are expected to represent the league even off the field. Dangerous behavior like this doesn't go unnoticed, and while $600, 0 cents may seem small for a professional athlete, the hit to his reputation was far greater. Eric Ebron had a plan, and he knew it was going to cost him. Just days before Christmas, he laced up in custom cleats decked out in candy cane red and green with a sparkling Nike swoosh. The problem? The NFL strictly enforces uniform rules, especially when it comes to cleats. They must match team colors or risk penalty. Ebron, playing for the Lions, whose colors are silver, blue, and white, ignored the rule entirely. He made big plays in those flashy shoes and helped lead his team to a win. Even the Lions' official account praised his festive spirit. But the NFL didn't care about Christmas cheer. He was fined $5,500, 0 cents for those cleats. Festive or not, fashion isn't free in the NFL. When Nick Bosa stepped onto the field wearing a white and gold Make America Great Again hat, he wasn't just making a political statement. He was challenging league policy. The NFL bans unapproved slogans and attire, especially those tied to political campaigns. Bosa's on-air support for Donald Trump triggered a fine north of $1,000, 0 cents. But what made it more controversial wasn't the fine, it was his response. Rather than backing down, Bosa doubled down. In a post-game moment that went viral, he mocked the league with Trump's own signature dance moves. The clash between personal belief and league regulation had never been so visible, and Bosa's MAGA moment made sure fans, critics, and officials all took notice. Now let's talk about some of the most jaw-dropping fines tied to touchdown celebrations. Jameson Williams turned a touchdown into a slam dunk, literally. He celebrated by leaping up and dunking the ball over the goalpost. The problem? That's explicitly banned by the NFL. It's considered using the ball as a prop, and it earned him a $14,000, 0 cents fine. Stephon Diggs took a different approach. After scoring, he mimicked WWE legend Stone Cold Steve Austin, grabbing pretend beers, smashing them together, and chugging in celebration. The crowd roared. But the NFL didn't share the enthusiasm. Another $14,000, 0 cents fine. Then there was Derek Carr. Inspired by the king of pop, Carr busted out a Michael Jackson dance, complete with a crotch grab. Fans thought it was hilarious. The NFL? Not so much. Yet again, $14,000, 0 cents. And then came the most controversial celebration of all, when multiple players, including Justin Jefferson and Deshaun Watson, mimed firing invisible guns. These shooting dances looked more like scenes from an action movie than a football game. The league slapped each player with another $14,000, 0 cents fine, citing the performances as promoting violence. Not every fine is about fun and games. Sometimes it's about lashing out, especially at those wearing the stripes. Myles Garrett, one of the league's most dominant defenders, reached a boiling point during a game. After being held, hit, and watching officials ignore multiple false starts, Garrett had enough. In a post-game interview, he exploded with frustration. Calling the officiating a travesty, he claimed the refs weren't just bad, they were dangerous. He said he was scratched, bruised, and left vulnerable because the officials refused to do their job. His shoulder, he claimed, looked like it had been mauled by wild animals. But public criticism of officials is a big no-no. Garrett's fiery words earned him a $25,000, 0 cents fine. His pain didn't matter. The league wasn't about to let a player call out the refs on national TV. Aaron Rodgers is known for making headlines, but no one expected him to get fined for a vacation? While his team was grinding through training camp, Rodgers decided it was time for a little adventure, not to a nearby resort, but to Egypt. He explored ancient temples, rode camels, and soaked up history. The trip was enlightening. It was also unauthorized. Skipping training camp without permission is a direct violation of NFL rules. His unauthorized Egyptian journey, it came with a $50,000, 0 cents price tag, one that no amount of enlightenment could erase. Tyreek Hill found himself in a very strange situation, being fined 6 figures for showing his ankles. Yes, ankles. According to NFL uniform policy, socks must fully cover the area from the top of the shoe to the bottom of the knee. Tyreek decided to roll his socks down, flaunting his bare lower legs for the cameras. It might have seemed harmless, maybe even stylish, but the league saw it differently. That minor dress code violation cost Tyreek Hill an astonishing $100,000, 0 cents, all because of some exposed skin. Some fines aren't about what players do, but what they weigh. Terrence Knighton, a 355-pound lineman, learned this the hard way. Teams often set strict weight targets for players, and every pound over the limit comes with a fine, usually $1,000, 0 cents per pound. Knighton not only ignored his weight goals, he practically laughed them off. He did interviews in restaurants, refused to diet, and repeatedly missed his targets. Over time, his fines added up, to the point where he became the most fined player in NFL history for weight violations, losing over $300,000, 0 cents. That's one heavy bill. When it comes to dangerous play, no one earned fines quite like Vontaze Burfict. Known across the league for his vicious tackles, Burfict led with the crown of his helmet, targeted opponents' heads, and left a trail of injuries in his wake. One of his most infamous hits, on Antonio Brown, is believed to have caused lasting brain trauma. The NFL hit Burfict back with over $400,000, 0 cents in fines for repeated dirty hits. He didn't just cross the line, he bulldozed it. When the New Orleans Saints tried to outsmart Tom Brady, they ended up in the league's crosshairs. During a crucial moment in a game, Saints defensive end Cameron Jordan suspiciously dropped to the turf, pretending to be injured. The goal? Stop the clock and kill momentum. But the NFL wasn't fooled. An investigation revealed coaches on the sidelines had instructed Jordan to fake the injury. The punishment? A combined fine of $550,000, 0 cents, for Jordan and the Saints organization. But even that pales in comparison to the biggest fine saga in NFL history. $60 million, 0 cents. That's what Washington's former team owner Dan Snyder was forced to pay after a sweeping investigation into workplace misconduct, sexual harassment, and financial impropriety. The scandal shook the league to its core and marked one of the largest financial punishments ever levied in professional sports. From dollar bills to political statements, from exposed ankles to dangerous tackles, The NFL's fine system reveals just how strictly it guards its image. Players are free to celebrate, express, and compete, but cross the line, and the league's response is swift and ruthless. Whether it's $1, 0 cents, or $60 million, 0 cents, these aren't just fines, they're warnings. Warnings that in the NFL, every action has a price. And sometimes the cost is staggering.